It's the 1940s. World War II is raging and millions of lives are being lost across the Pacific. Everyone is desperately seeking a way to end this war. So they order nuclear physicists to start researching a theoretical bomb that could potentially wipe out an entire city and end the war. It was discovered that German scientists might also be able to build a nuclear weapon, and when they did, Hitler was likely prepared to use it. America was fearful of this, as they'd seen the atrocities Germany is capable of. So, it's a race against time. In 1942, Robert J. Oppenheimer was selected to direct a top-secret US Army project to build the atomic bomb. So they built a secret lab in Los Alamos, Mexico, and recruited the best minds in physics to make this happen. They named it Project Manhattan. The race to build a weapon of unprecedented power and destruction was underway. The stakes were very high, and ethical implications of Oppenheimer's work weighed heavily on his mind. But development continued as planned, with scientists working around the clock, and fast. Months later, the bomb was ready. It was showtime. Time to show the full power of what they had built to the world for the first time. On July 16, 1945, scientists detonated a plutonium bomb in the deserts of New Mexico. It was unlike anything they had ever seen or imagined.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
The successful testing of the bomb marked a turning point in human history. Never before had humans possessed a weapon that posed a threat to the entire of human civilization. The successful testing meant the atomic bomb was ready for war. So on August 6, 1945, the most powerful weapon ever built was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 140,000 people would die instantly, and thousands more would die in pain months and years later from radiation poisoning. 3 days later, another bomb was dropped over Nagasaki, killing 74,000 people. That is 214,000 people, nearly 250,000, killed instantly by just 2 bombs. Japan surrendered 6 days later, ending World War II. Oppenheimer's views on nuclear weapons clashed with the prevailing political climate. He expressed serious guilt his creation, looking at the destruction humans were unleashing and realizing it's the same humans, the same flesh and blood. He began to oppose the bomb, and his greatest fear was that he gave humans the ability to destroy themselves. Things started to take a dark turn as Oppenheimer was suspected of being a communist spy, but he argued he was not a spy and was never interested in politics. In 1949, the Soviet Union conducted their first nuclear tests, ahead of the American estimates.
There has been an atomic explosion in the Soviet Union.
This further raised the suspicion that Oppenheimer was leaking data to the Soviets. The US government no longer trusted their best nuclear physicists. This opens another chapter in human history. It was another race, not just for power, but also for the ultimate destructive force. And at the heart of this stood, once again, Robert Oppenheimer, who would make a bold and controversial decision. As the Soviets advanced in their nuclear capabilities, the United States found itself struggling to maintain their position as a world superpower. All eyes were now set on the hydrogen bomb. This is a weapon of unimaginable, just completely incomprehensible power and destruction thousands and thousands of times more powerful than the bombs that ended World War II. But Oppenheimer questioned the necessity of pursuing such destructive power. Oppenheimer refused to participate in the development of the hydrogen bomb with the belief that its creation would lead to a dangerous arms race. One that could very potentially end humanity. His decision was met with consequences. The Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, alleged he had ties to communism, and in 1954 his security clearance was revoked and he was humiliated. However, the bomb was developed, and this was the scariest thing ever seen on Earth. In seconds, the fireball erupted to a geyser that towered 25,000 feet into the stratosphere and spread into a mushroom cloud hundreds of miles wide. This bomb was 700 times more powerful than the little boy. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima. However, this was just the beginning. In October 1961, Soviet scientists showed what they were capable of with the testing of their Tsar Bomba. It had a 100 megaton capacity, though the resulting fallout from such a blast was considered too dangerous even for a test situation. Thus it was modified to yield 50 megatons, which was estimated to be about 3,800 times the strength of the US bomb dropped on Hiroshima during World War II. Detonating in a very remote Arctic region of Novaya Zemlya, the resulting damage was equally massive. Severny, an uninhabited village 34 miles away, that's 55 kilometers from ground zero, was leveled. Buildings more than 100 miles away, 160 kilometers away, were reportedly damaged. In addition, it was estimated heat from the blast was causing third-degree burns 62 miles or 100 kilometers away. The explosion was so immense, it created shock waves that were detected across the globe. What started as a race to end a war was now becoming a race to end humanity. The Tsar Bomba showcased the unimaginable destructive power of the hydrogen bomb, and it was a stark reminder of what could come from an unchecked arms race. Robert Oppenheimer, who refused to participate in the development of the hydrogen bomb, would have watched with a heavy heart as the world stood witness to Tsar Bomba's power. His concern now seemed hauntingly prophetic. For Oppenheimer, a bomb with 1,000 times the power of what he had witnessed from the atomic bomb was just unfathomable. He had used his position to lobby for international control on nuclear weapons, but with his security clearance revoked, he settled in New Jersey, until he was invited by President John F. Kennedy to the White House dinner of Nobel Prize winners in 1962. In 1963, he was awarded one of the highest scientific honors bestowed by a president, the Fermi Award. 2 years later, in 1965, Oppenheimer was diagnosed with throat cancer and died very sadly February 18, 1967, at the age of 62. In June of that same year, June 67, China also successfully tested their first hydrogen bomb. The 20th century marked a new age in which the very existence of humankind was threatened. But that threat is even more real today with rising global tensions. The war in Ukraine, North Korean missile launches and simulations. This leaves us in a very delicate position.
Since Russia invaded the sovereign nation of
The
Ukraine.
Pentagon spokesman saying today that a Russian fighter jet struck the propeller of a U.S. surveillance drone in international airspace.
World War III. World War III has never been closer than it is right now.
One of the most terrifying things about nuclear or hydrogen bombs is radiation poisoning. But did you know you might be a lot closer to getting a fatal dose of radiation poisoning than you think? You don't even need to be near a bomb. Some unlucky people came out of hospital with radiation poisoning. It took them a while to figure it out, and you can check that out in this video right here. Head over there now, and I'll see you there.